Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hari Krisurani from NK3, and I'm going to present my extensive reading presentation about the element of a research article. The first one is the title of the research article that I have read. The title is The Impact of Teaching Pragmatics Function to High School Learners. And then the second element is abstract. The abstract of this article is the purpose of this study was to investigate the effectiveness of pragmatic function instruction on Iranian high school EFL learners' writing proficiency. For the purpose of this study, 60 female Iranian learners studying at the first grade of high school in this fall were selected through simple random sampling procedure. Then the result revealed that there was a significant differences between the mean scores of the participants in the control and experimental groups. The next element is introduction. In this article, the introduction was explained about pragmatics. The first one is pragmatic function writing in conversation with the completion test format in a second language doesn't enjoy a big amount of support. Pragmatic incompetence in second language resulting in the use of inappropriate expression or inaccurate interpretation resulting in unsuccessful communicative events. Learners should do many writing dealing with many particular elements of the writing skill that the time spent writing fulfills efficient practice for improving them. And then teaching pragmatic function in the language classroom is important for two reasons. The first one is it has been demonstrated that there is a need for it to communicate properly, and the second one is quite simple. It has proven to be effective in negotiation of meaning. This study tries to fill this gap. Does the present study investigate the effect of pragmatic function instruction and CR on learning pragmatic function and their impact on developing writing proficiency among EFL learners? The next element is literature review. Levinson 1983 said that pragmatic consists of both context-dependent aspect of language structures and principle of language usage and comprehending that deals nothing or little with linguistic structure. And then there are literature review. There are three literature review. The first one is pragmatic competence. It is a significant component of communicative competence. According to Cannell and Swain, 1980, model pragmatic competence is a significant element of communicative competence that include three components: grammatical competence, sociolinguistic competence, and strategic competence. The second one is feature of pragmatic. Pragmatic focus on people that use language. It is also focused on the way humans employ the language in interaction. The last one is pragmatic in grammar. Bardo v. Hartlich, 2001, conducted studies that showed that language learners with high level of grammatical competence do not essentially enjoy high level of pragmatic competence. The next element is research method. It includes participants, subject, and so on. The participants of this study were 60 female junior students of two high schools in this fall. They were studying at the first grade of high school and their age ranged from 14 to 16 years old. The subject took the simulated proficiency text extracted from the first grade English book of high school developed by Burjadi Sohaili, Nowrozi and Mahmoudi 2009 to ensure the homogeneity of their groups at the very beginning of the course. The students were selected through simple random sampling procedure. Then they were divided into groups of experimental and control to analyze the data quantitatively, descriptive, stylistic, and independent sample t-tests for comparing the performance of two groups at the pre-test and post-test were being used. The next element is result. In this article, there are four results that were shown by the writer. The first one is result of descriptive statistic on the pretest. It includes means and then standard deviation of the pretest of the control and experimental group were composed. The second one is result of independent sample t-test for pretest. As there were a dependent and an independent variable, an independent variable sample t-test was run to estimate the scores. And then the third one is result of descriptive statistic on post-test. And then the last one is result of independent sample t-test on the post-test. The next element is discussion. The result of independent sample t-test analysis revealed that there was a significant differences between the control and experimental groups in terms of pragmatic function instruction in writing. The scores of the post-test on pragmatic function in writing indicate that the pragmatic function in writing through CR have been positively gained by the experimental group. The post-test scores of the experimental group indicate that this group had better comprehension and identification rate of pragmatic function in writing process on different contexts and situation focused on meaning compared to control group. And the last element is conclusion. The result indicate that there was a significant differences between the correct response percentage of the participants in the control group taught according to the current and traditional approach of writing with no pragmatic instruction NCR in writing skill and the accurate answer percentage of the experimental group taught based on instruction. So the final conclusion also showed that pragmatic function instruction and writing skill had significant influences on students' learning pragmatic function in writing process. I think that's all about my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.